Hey everybody, life is garbage. Paul's only happy when it rains. This is an episode of Your New Best Friends. I don't know, have a drink, eat some candy, just feel like you're alive for a second because we don't.
I don't like this intro at all.
You're lying, I can tell you love it because you're laughing.
I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
John's desperately trying to make me happy again. He just picked up one of the cats and is like, look at your beautiful cat. He's smiling, they're dancing together. I
Wow,
don't feel
good guy,
anything.
John.
I don't feel anything.
That's good.
I think the only way I could feel again is if he somehow found an Auntie Anne's pretzel in our house and walked in and said, "Pretzel."
Did you watch 30 Rock?
Multiple times, dude.
There's an episode in the first season, and it's when shit starts going crazy, and Tracy's in a room going off, and Liz is like, ah.
Oh, it's the Blue Dude episode.
Um,
Are you talking
is it the
about
Blue
season
Dude?
1,
But
episode 7, where Tracy does Conan?
it might be that one, but
And he
Dr.
sees.
Spaceman
Yeah, it's the first
opens
time
the
you see
door to the
Dr.
room,
Spaceman.
and he goes, "There's soft pretzels in the break room."
I did not realize that. But yeah, we're talking about the same
There's an
episode.
off. There's okay. There's also an episode where I think it is that one where he gets tested, and he's like, "Well, Tracy, science is whatever we want it to be."
Which is one of my
But
favorite lines
actually,
of
I
the
think that's
series.
the paternity test.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that?
either that or the one where Tracy is getting tested for diabetes.
Mm-hmm. So that was a fun segue for what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, so today is February 21st. It's the day that Malcolm X was assassinated many years ago. And in the news, there was another assassination going on that really caught mine and Paul's attention. It's the assassination of Kim Jong Nam, formerly of North Korea. And this was on our mind just because, one, many people texted me about it. And, at first I did feel a little weird that I'm someone's go to, there was an assassination text buddy. But it was also because of the fashion involved and then the insanity involved in the whole thing. So, Paul, do you want to recap a little bit? And I'll throw in my favorite choice deets.
Sure. I think I can do this. No, I can't do it.
All right, let me recap, friend. So,
I'm sorry.
well, it's late at night for you, and we've been talking for forever. Anyway, Kim Jong Nam.
Cut that out.
Kim Jong Nam was the older brother of current ruler of North Korea, Kim Jong Un, and he was assassinated last week. And what happened was, now that we know most of the details, who knows, you could be listening to this weeks from now and more insanity has come out of it, is that these two women, one, they're still not sure if she was an assassin or not, or also duped. But the woman who's really caught people's attention is a woman who thought she was on a prank show. And she and another woman wore LOL sweatshirts. And one of the pranks they did was getting men to close their eyes. And I'm presuming it's thinking that they're going to get a hot smooch or some crap like that. And then spraying water in their faces. And then someone fills up the spray bottle and they pull it on Kim Jong Nam. but there's poison inside. And one of the details when before we knew everything that's going on, it was like this image of a woman wearing a white a white sweatshirt. It's dope as hell. And it has LOL on it in red letters. Kind of like she's the like real life Joker. Kind of like she could be any like fashionable 20 to 30 something who's rocking a cool sweatshirt. And that's where we are in the story so far. So, Paul, did anyone text you about this?
No, no one texted me about it, but I did get an email from my mentor at U of I, and I was very confused, because he just said, "Have you killed, or heard you killed your half brother?" Like just as a throwaway line after he had asked me this question, and I was like, "Why did you ask me this? I don't have a half brother." And then he sent me an email back. He's like, "Did you even like read the fucking news?" And so it was a whole thing that went over my head initially, and I was like, "Oh, I see the joke now." Um, that probably wasn't even funny for this, you know.
No, but it shows
But
how weird it is. Like people, it sounds like he just
I
tried to
mean,
really like slam it into the combo a little bit because it's like it's super memorable.
yeah,
It's interesting and
it is.
it's deeply
It's because it is
unsettling.
so bizarre. Hmm.
And one of the reasons why we're talking on this on ostensibly a literary podcast, but could probably also be classified under depression, tangents, quoting at each other, is that it made us start thinking about how many stories, poems, memoirs, although I would kill to read the woman's memoir who got duped into thinking this was a prank show, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is tailor made for like This American Life episode.
At least that. You know, in like 7 years, we're going to watch like LOL, the movie, a Kim Jong Nam assassination. Some
Oh
crap
God.
like that. I mean, it's going to maybe
Hmm.
be up for an Oscar. People be like, now we've got Asians in Hollywood. Or worse, Scarlett Johansson's going to play the
It's
lady.
it's gonna be a rival, except it's gonna be Kim Jong Nam walking in through the arrival gate and getting acid thrown on his face.
Yeah. Ugh. People are not going to like that revision of the story. Anyway, it just made us think a lot about how soon are we going to see people taking elements of this story and putting it into their work? Paul, do you think someone is already writing like a poem about this?
At this point, I would hope to say no,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean the truth of it is that there probably is um, someone doing this, and I talked about sort of my apprehension about these sort of things in the first episode, but we have seen these sort of tropes come up time and time again. There's like a bunch of mythology about um, family betrayal slash wiping out people who are potential people to ascend the throne, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing I have trouble with, and this may be a slight tangent, but I would rather have liked to see. Well, I don't want to see it, but if you're gonna assassinate someone, I think you should have the balls to do it with your own hands. Like, case in point, Mufasa and Scar. Scar like totally assassinated Mufasa, right?
Yes. Hands
In
down,
The
Stone
Lion
Cold
King.
Killer.
Right. At least like he decided to do it like by himself, kind of.
Well, I mean, he had those hyenas helping him out. But
Right, right,
yeah,
right.
he did
But
it
at the end
himself.
of the day, like
But would you
he
call
sunk
that an
his claws.
assassination, or would you call it like that's the other thing that's interesting to me is like when I'm thinking about an assassination, I think about guns now because I'm a product of modern times. But I mean, I guess like digging your claws into another lion's claws on a steep cliff is the equivalent of guns for lions.
Probably for the Sahara, at least in terms of lion on lion assassination.
Yeah,
That's a weird tangent,
it is,
but
but I think it's worth talking about because I think like when we were talking about doing this podcast, we didn't plan on much politics talk, but every time we talk now in the podcast, we're still thinking about it.
Mhm. I suppose why I bring that up, right, is because you have someone who uh, has the throne, right,
Mm-hmm.
and who is the threat to the throne. In the case of Lion King, right, Scar wants the throne, kill
Mm-hmm.
Mufasa, exile Simba, boom, you know. Same thing with Kim Jong Un. You got this dude who's a potential threat. The news is saying something to the effect that China had given this Kim Jong Nam protection in some respects, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
that they were possibly grooming him to take the throne as well. So, you know, knocking those people out so that way they can't make a claim.
And doing it in the most petty way possible. Hmm. I how many things in and I think we're gonna see, like you mentioned, like these narratives resurface again. It feels like we're on the verge of a trend. Maybe it's because of Twitter too, where so many writers are doing like how can we make our art necessary? How
Uh-huh.
can we represent our times now?
I mean, do you feel like it's just a cash grab? Or not a cash grab, but like a,
I
I don't
think
know,
it's
an
like
easy writing
fear.
prompt?
I mean, I think for some people it's an easy writing prompt because it but I think for some people it's just fear. It's like a way to feel in control of all of the stuff happening
Hmm.
around us.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, there's a certain part of me that wa- understands the impulse to grapple with what's going on in the moment and write about it and feel the need to respond, uh,
Mm-hmm.
with the tools that I've been given, whatever talent or what have you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
um, I think that's natural. I think there's, however you as a person um, negotiate life and how you observe things and how you react. I think everyone's entitled to that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But it doesn't seem like
but
all of it really needs to go in the submissions queue right away.
yes, exactly. I don't know. It's a tough line to walk, and I suppose in the first episode where I kind of like shut it down, um, like very hard. I think it is important to sort of, I needed to sit and reflect and think about that a little bit more as well. But
Yeah, I mean, I even feel weird. Like the short story I wrote, The Alive Sister, it was
mhm,
published at the offing before I became an editor there. It, I felt really weird about writing it at first because, like, it breaks some of my rules of writing usually. Like, I don't want to respond to the headlines.
right.
I don't want to always get pigeonholed in this area where I am a black writer who has to write hot take fiction about how miserable it is to be a black person. Like, I'm much more
Mm-hmm.
interested in exploring being a woman, being black, in stories that traditionally don't get to see those characters. But
Yeah.
I started writing that short story when Tamir Rice, the man who killed him, once again, no consequences, have a great life, dog. And I just sat down and started writing out of anger and just, it was, it's one of those moments where I do think people are starting, like, I also wonder this. Sometimes to be a minority in America is to feel like anything can happen at any time.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like a horror to your days that happens for people who aren't discriminated against. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. It's there's not a regularity. Like if I go into a space where it's all white people that I don't know, especially older white people, I have no idea what's going to be said to me. I hear the weirdest shit sometimes. I hear
Mm-hmm.
the worst shit. And I think some of this is that at least here in the United States, I think people are trying to grapple, especially, and I should put the emphasis on white people are trying to grapple with, holy shit, this is now my existence too. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like the impulse to write about horrors happening around the world, assassinations, Donald Trump, that whole crew, I feel like that's what's getting expressed now in our literature. Just that, like, anxiety of, I want to control this again.
Yeah. Part of me wonders how much of it has to do with how small the literary community can seem at times,
This is
especially
true.
with Twitter being at our disposal, Facebook, all these platforms, right? You
Mm-hmm.
know, all the pages that I like on Facebook, whether that's a lit mag or electronic lit hub, signature, etc. Um,
Yeah.
where our news sources are, and especially on Twitter, I see, I, I don't know how many people I follow right now or what have you, but I can be there's like a guarantee to see at least some news article be reposted or retweeted 50 odd times by 50 of my writer friends,
Yeah.
you know. Um, in our ability and sort of consumption of that news and how small the world can seem at times, I feel like can heighten our awareness or sensitivity to things that
Mm-hmm.
make that sort of causes us to feel the need to respond um, in a more immediate fashion because it is so easy to send a tweet or to get that sort of instant gratification of retweeting or you know as a way of feeling like there's some sense of control um, of how we're sort of God. I'm thinking as I'm going along here, but
You're
like
doing a really good job of thinking.
thanks. But but like of how we feel we need to be presented in the world and how we're sort of grappling with that, right? Because it is our own presence on social media and in a way that is a facet of um, or a projection of our own identities and sort of our own fears and insecurities in a large way as well. Like, and in a way, those retweets, no matter how small they are or who we tweet at, what have you, are the same thing as Rattle's Poets Respond, are the same thing as, um, how we are um, negotiating with these difficult matters.
Yeah. We're going to keep following this trend, and I think we're going to be talking about it on and off for the next couple months as we notice some things. I'm going to be watching the Publishers Weekly updates to see if there are any books or, yeah, just books. I don't know what else I was going to say there. But books that are getting bought that might fall into this trend. And
I would.
no, go for it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it will be interesting to see as well, because I feel like where these sort of things tend to pop up, and maybe it won't be the story of Kim Jong Nam, but we'll probably get a couple of historical fiction novels about assassinations, is my bet.
You know what would be a delight, though? If
What's
someone
that?
took the trendiness of this moment and finally started publishing some really in-depth books about North Korea.
There is a great book that just came out, I want to say last year. Let me pull it up here real quick.
Cool.
Okay, I think this is it. It was Oprah, or the Oprah magazine also had a piece on it. Alexander Chi did a review for the New York Times book review. So the author is Chris Lee, and the book is How I Became a North Korean.
Ooh, that's also been on my reading list for a while.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been saying like it's a very realistic story of hope and survival, and it's not like a happy book. And so that sounds like my kind of book, because I'm just a sad
Yeah.
person.
I think it sounds like my book because one of the things I've been trying to think about is how much we should look toward places like North Korea. Because, like, we used to, in the United States at least, laugh about Kim Jong il's, like, farcical claims, like the perfect holes of God, all of that crap. But as we edge nearer and nearer to a leader who might as well say he like dunked on Charles Barkley for as honest as he's been at times.
Yeah.
I I think there's a lot we could learn and look to. Maybe a cool new American trend should be learning.
I love that. I like learning.
I love learning.
But how can we rebrand it, right?
How do we make learning dangerous, sexy, cool, than like a rap video where
like we need to Tom Haverford this, like in Parks and Recreation, when there's fluoride in the water and then they rebrand it to H2 Flow.
learn to flow, learn to learn to. It's the word learn. We should come up with a new word that's like, or like a way to put it, like download this cool information. Don't let your parents catch you.
Oh, see you later, Mom. I'm going on the information highway. No. Hard pass.
We need to get our MBAs so we can learn how to market learning.
Yeah.
Oh, your new best
So
friend season 2. B school.
Here's another thing that I've seen happen.
I love that you completely ignored that.
That's because I have a real thought here.
Okay.
So, do you remember, what was it, like 3 years ago, where, you know, we're talking a bit about North Korea here.
Yeah.
And they came out with that shitty satire movie, The Interview, with James Franco and Seth Rogen. And, I mean, North Korea is the butt of so many jokes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's something I have a problem with, and this is a reason I don't like South Park or a lot of Comedy Central programs. Is there's so many people who who don't understand the satire, and they just take the jokes at face value. So it, instead of the interview being this satirical piece and us laughing at the ridiculous political nature and um, you know, the sort of policies
Mm-hmm.
and such that have been portrayed, right? It becomes us laughing um, at like Koreans themselves, or you know what I mean. There's just like
Yeah.
these generalizations that I don't appreciate. I don't think are doing service in any facet, which I guess is perhaps the problem that satire lends itself to as a medium anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I
but
mean,
it just,
yeah.
yeah, it upsets me in a
I
great amount.
I also have like this frustration with satire at the moment. And I'm not gonna completely overreal like say no satire is good. That's ridiculous. There's good things in almost all like genres.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate that people will say something is a satire when it's not to get away with liking something shitty. And I don't mean shitty
Yeah.
in terms of taste. I mean shitty in terms of like it's mean to women or Korean people. And they're like, don't you get it? It's a satire about someone who would act like that. Or
Mm-hmm.
they've like tried to mansplain to me what satire is. And it's always just like, if you feel like you have to explain to me what satire is, you are the problem. If you don't think
Mm-hmm.
I know what it is already.
I mean, I sort of have a little personal anecdote to this, and like, and perhaps this is why the movie sort of pisses me off so much, and why I sort of have trouble with this. Is like, as that movie came out, I had so many of my I wouldn't even call them friends, just like acquaintances and like people I'd gone to college with,
Uh huh.
um, send me pictures of Kim Jong Un, and they'd be like, "We just saw you in this movie, dude," or like, uh, "Wow, you made the cover of the New Yorker, like, great job." And I was just like really pissed off about that. Like,
The joy of
it's like,
when racism gets disguised as a joke.
yeah, and there have been times where I've joked about being like the rightful heir to North Korea, or like, uh, um, sort of poked fun at my Korean identity. Um,
And also, you
but
don't know much about, like, do you know anything about your birth family? Or,
no, I know absolutely nothing, and that's like a completely,
but I mean, that's where the
uh,
room for joking is, too. It's not just like about Korea or Koreans, it's also you're like joking a little bit about yourself, too.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I guess I just feel uh, a bit personally attacked when when those things happen, where people don't, I guess, think about those things, or they just chill out, dude. It's a joke. I didn't mean anything by it.
Uh
I
huh.
don't know.
Ugh.
That's just the sort of shit that I have to deal with. Anyways,
So I guess PSA, white people, I'm going to assume that all the greatest, not just the greatest white people in the world listen to this podcast. So, the greatest of you, please tell your non great friends to stop saying, I'm just joking, or doing dumb shit like that. Slap the phone out of their dumb hands and say, look, you're being racist. Stop. Should we move on to something more positive? You feel
I don't
in the
know
mood
if
to
we
laugh.
can.
I think. We're complex individuals, Paul. We get into
I
the
think so.
nitty gritty about racism. We complain about satire, but with valid points. We talk about
Mhm.
assassinations. Now let's be shallow as fuck. Are you ready for this?
Okay,
That didn't sound shallow enough. Do you feel ready to be shallow as fuck?
absolutely.
Fine, let's just do this. Alright, are you ready for hot or not?
Hot or not?
Hot or not?
That's good.
Alright, are you ready for this one, Paul?
I am.
Hot or not? A novel that begins, "What's up, my dudes?"
Is this a novel? Well, are they human beings or are they dogs?
It's a human being addressing other human beings. "What's up, my dudes?"
It's not a dog. Okay. Because if it was dogs, I'd be on board 100%.
Oh my god, golden retrievers are always calling each other my dude, right?
Right. If it was a golden retriever with sunglasses on, and he's like, in an alley, and he just goes, "What's up, my dudes?" I'm buying that novel hands down, 100%. Um,
But
if
other
it's
than
human
that,
beings, eh, I'm gonna say not.
fair enough. Alright, do you want to do another one?
Sure.
Hot or not? A poem about erratically eating spaghetti.
Like eating spaghetti erotically.
Yeah. Like,
Okay.
"Oh, baby, the way you slurp that noodle. Boing, boing, boing.
Hmm.
Those meatballs. Yum, yum, yum. Sauce all over my body." Hot or
I'm gonna
not?
go with not hot. I'm not a. I don't. I don't think that's a hot poem. However, if if we're talking about like a ekphrastic poem about Lady and the Tramp eating spaghetti,
And then doing it
I
in the
may be.
alley because they got so hot from sharing that noodle.
I wasn't gonna take it that far, but sure. Yeah,
They had all those kids, Paul.
I know they did, but
Those,
this is
but they're still cartoon dogs. I know, I know. I'm sorry, everybody, for making you think about that. Hey, ask me one.
hot or not. Climate change mood rings.
So, would the ring change color every time a devastating storm is coming? Or would
Sure.
the ring
Yeah,
change
yeah.
color every time you're doing something that's poisoning and killing our world? Or both?
I like both options for different reasons,
Yeah.
but I think I was thinking more along the lines of the first.
I think hot for the second one, and I think maybe we should all wear climate change shame rings. That whenever we're
Mm-hmm.
doing something really shitty for the planet, it like burns us a little bit and says, "This is your future,"
Mm-hmm.
and then turns bright red because it's a mood ring. But I think the other one, I genuinely think that like technology will eventually evolve so that you'll be wearing like some bling and it like tells you how bad you slept, how weird you're pooping, and it'll be like tornado coming, turns green for it. You should patent that. You're ready. Your eyes are on the future. So hot. Hot for both.
Okay.
Do you want me to ask you another question?
Uh,
We're almost done.
I know. Hot or not, agreeing to publish a book by a terrible human being and then pulling said book as a PR stunt.
Insanely not hot. In fact, like embarrassing hot. And like, I feel like the human equivalent of zero hotness that move is being the person who might have been involved in all of that, who says many disgusting things. Because I think the most hot, like, least hot thing you could ever do is be a
Mhm.
terrible human being who is racist, transphobic, homophobic, and generally shits on
Mhm.
everybody to make yourself feel better because you're a piece of crap.
So
So,
follow up, hot or not? Would you rather be Simon and Schuster right now or Uber?
oh, Simon and Schuster. Simon and Schuster can say that only one department. And I mean, to be fair, like, I've been part of big places that have many departments. Like, I mean, we were both part of IU. We're not going to say that we're pulling the same stunts as, like, someone in, like, the B school is
That's true.
and taking credit for it. Simon Schuster's huge. There was some very dumb things happening, but they still have like a scapegoat. They get to say, "Oh, it was just this imprint and we just thought it would work there, blah blah blah." It's not this well-respected African American literature imprint that they have. It's not blank and blank
Mm.
and blank. Uber though,
Mhm.
there's no hiding your ass, Uber. So yeah, I
That's
mean,
true.
if I was going to be a weasel, it's Simon Schuster.
I'm
God, if
into it.
I ever pull a stunt like that where I'm like, I'm going to give someone really terrible platform, assume that I am losing my fucking mind or that I am a Cylon who has taken my place. Just to
Okay.
be real with you about this. Alright, one last hot or not for today.
Okay.
Hot or not, the word ointment. Ointment.
Ooh.
Ointment. Ointment.
Ointment. How many
Ointment.
different ways can you say ointment?
Ointment. Ointment?
Ointment.
Is this hot or not?
I, I don't know any time where you can use an ointment in like a hot way.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
there's like some
Yeah.
older novels where a woman is like, I'm putting on my ointment to make myself smell beautiful. And like I realized that they mean like kind of like an old fashioned like lotion. But yeah, even then
Uh-huh.
I was like, what? Why are you doing this? Ointment.
Oh, excuse me. I need to use the ladies' room to go put on my ointments.
Sexy.
I'm leaving that dinner table. Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go to the washroom. Enjoy yourself. Check, please.
You know, I would think that was an invitation. She's putting on her ointments. I better follow.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it in the bathroom, ointment style.
If she had said ornaments instead of ointments, I then hot all the way.
Ornament is a
Yeah.
hot word, right?
Yeah. Excuse me, I'm gonna go put on my ornaments. It's like, is this a
Oof.
Christmas tree?
Oh
It's
man,
like,
Christmas trees are number one hotness. Just want to
yeah.
stare at them all the
Uh,
time.
so are you more of a fake tree or a real tree kind of person?
I'm a fake tree person because I have two terrible cats who
Uh-huh.
they're not to be trusted.
Hmm.
Fake tree makes life a little easier for everybody.
Agreed.
Yeah. But growing up, I came from a big tree family. Like the my dad loves like huge real Christmas trees.
Mm.
Hmm.
I feel like that's a Minnesota thing.
It's also a Michigan thing, which is the A plus Minnesota rather than the B minus of Minnesota.
I
Sorry,
totally did
Fiona
not mean
Lott.
to say. I did not mean to say Minnesota at all. I totally meant to say Michigan. That's how tired I am right now.
Yeah. All right.
Fuck.
Eh. For you listeners at home, it is 1:10 a.m. pause time.
Oh, actually, it's 12:10.
Oh, it's 12:10. You can hear his descent into madness throughout this. He's just real
I'm
tired,
about to
everybody.
send you. I'm gonna send you one more hot or not.
All right.
Okay.
You can just say it, though.
But
You don't have to send it.
no, but this is a GIF.
Oh. You J it, not G it. GIF.
Well, I did for this case. I usually say GIF or GIF. I can't even talk right now. That's how tired I am.
Yeah, this episode's incredible. All right, send me this.
I sent it to you on that website that we talk on.
Oh, the Facebook.
4chan.
We are hardcore 4chan users, but don't worry, everybody. We troll them from within. We troll them from within.
Opening the Facebook.
So I see
Hot
what appears
or
to be a
not?
beautiful Highland cow. Oh, he's right in the screen. Oh, he's so cute. Oh, this is hot. I love Highland cows. Look at this. Oh, look at this beautiful boy. I would love to own a baby Highland cow.
Right?
Hey, buddy. Oh. Yeah. Hot. Absolutely. A++ hot.
I feel like that's a happy note to end on.
Yeah. We followed our bliss, Paul.
Animal pictures I am convinced, are some of the only happy things left.
Like when you see a picture of an otter eating a head of lettuce.
Yes, absolutely.
So, this was Your New Best Friends. I'm Megan Giddings. The other person was Paul Asta. We're produced by John Cameron. We have a home from our good friends at Fear No Lit. The theme song is Your New Best Friends, Australia 2017 by Jesse Ramsey and Scott Fenton. Outro music is still nameless, I think, but it's by John Cameron. We will talk to you, at you, with you, on you. Text a baby animal photo to us, I don't know, in like a month. Paul's tired, so bye. Yo.